Welcome to the Bull Factory. That's what it's going to be in the coming year because the crypto market is looking pretty hot today, actually. Yesterday as well, like Bitcoin is pushing towards new all-time highs. Didn't break at the teeth, but it's not. It's close, man. It's really close. However, the altcoin market is not doing that, and that's okay. I mean, it always lags a little bit. And I think people are really not bullish enough. People are giving up. They feel like, oh, Bitcoin at all-time highs and the altcoin market is not even there. Altcoins are dead. You should only buy some random dog shit coin on Solana and hope for the best. That's not really how this game works. And in this video, I would like to give my price prediction and time prediction for the altcoin market. Little side note, I'm not going to be right. Okay. So that you know, because you cannot time it, of course, and price predictions are really hard to do, but I more make this like a general outlook on what I think where it might be going over the next year, and I think it is really bullish. And if you want to ask me, but you crazy smoking Dutch guy, what the fuck are you smoking, where's all that money coming from? That's very simple. I'm gonna explain that to you. I think that this is the bull video that we need in these times. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Smack the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Happy to have you here. And guys, by the way, first, shout out to everybody that's left, man. I mean, this channel was made in the bear market and we were bear talking every day, and some people didn't like to hear it, of course. And we finally get out of the altcoin bear markets right now, and the real bull market is, yet to start. So on this channel, we haven't witnessed it yet. And I think it's going to be fantastic, really. So, if you look at Bitcoin and you want to look at this in the most bearish way you can, you connect these dots with these dots and these dots, and then you can see that we clearly broke out. So even if we go back down to 68.5 would be nothing else than a retest, actually, if we do something like this over the coming couple of days, and then go up. And why would we do that? Well, we had two pretty fat candles in a row. We were sitting at all-time highs, so it's not that weird that people are taking profits and maybe they feel like, oh, Kamala is gonna win and we need to sell everything. It doesn't really matter, I think. I think the FOMC is way more important, by the way, because that's gonna, decide if the Fed is finally gonna reduce their balance sheets or not, and that will trigger an alt season or not. That's always been the case. So yeah, if we will retest this, why not, right? It would be technically also a Fed higher low. So the chart is still super bullish, actually. So again, I want to give my price predictions a little bit and also time wise, but don't stick to it, right? But you have to have a general expectation. Now, again, where's all that money coming from if it's going to flow in the crypto market? I mean, people have money on their bank accounts. Don't think that that's not the case. So that's the first thing. Two, China is gonna print like it was 1.5 trillion dollars, trillion with a T, right? That's a lot of T. That's a lot of money. And then we have the US, of course. So that's a whole lot of new money that's going to flow into the crypto market, of course, as well. Plus, at a certain point, Bitcoin will be sitting super high. Solana is sitting high. Ethereum will be high. All that money will go, no, well, not all that money, but a lot of that can go into the altcoin market. And it takes a fraction of that money to move certain altcoins. I don't know if you are in the Patreon as well, but there I made a video and there I showed hey, for example, Solana, $80 billion market cap. Now scroll down in the top 100, so not even outside of it. The lowest coin right there is 800 million, right? That's 100 times as low. So it only takes 1% of the money that's in Solana and put that into this coin, Radium, for example, which is considered high cap, and that already does it 2x. Let alone if people decide to take quite some market share out of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or all of them, right? It can pump your shitcoins to Valhalla. And that's exactly what I think will happen. That always has happened, and it's cyclical behavior. At a certain point, Bitcoin will be in price discovery, and everybody is in profits, and they feel like, okay, I don't know where this might go, but I'm going to look for something that has a little more upside. And then it flows into the altcoin market. Plus, people have more money, so they're willing to take more risk as well, as they, are not in a losing trade already. So it's only natural behavior. Now, what might be possible for altcoins and for Bitcoin? Well, I think that altcoins are more interesting for a lot of people. So let's take a look at that. And one thing that I noticed is that if you look at the total crypto market cap, so everything, and you look, for example, at this, right? You take Fibonacci from the cycle top in 2017 to the next bottom. See that it topped out at the Fibonacci 4.618. It's just a number, I know, but Fibonacci's are actually levels you want to look at, because these are very psychological levels. If you now apply the same Fibonacci on the last cycle, you can see that 4.618 comes in at around $11 trillion. Okay, that's not like from the high, that's around 277% higher, right? So that would be from top to top. Well, the 2017 top to the last top was 290% higher. So it's definitely not impossible. Now, let's say that we get to 10 trillion, right? Is that possible in the first place? I think it is. It's not a. I mean, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of money coming into the market as well, and that's around a 4x from this point, right? 4x for the total crypto market in this stage of the market seems reasonable. Now, let's take a look at something else real quick first, because this is the total crypto market and its fair value, and it's very simple. You can see it in the chart as well. The red line, that's the fair value. Every time below the fair value has always been a good moment to buy, because it always went way above it in the bull market, right? Here, it was a great buy because we went way above it. Here, same case. Here, same case. Here, same case. And now we are slightly below the fair value again. Now, if you are a cyclical nerd like me, then you probably think that it's going to top out somewhere at the end of 2025. At the end of 2025, the crypto market's fair value will be sitting at $5 trillion. $5 trillion, right? However, that's the fair value. There was never a bull market where we did not went way above that fair value. Matter of fact, the upper band would be sitting at $46 trillion. 3 out of the 4 bull markets, we went to the upper band. Right, so in that case, I feel like, okay, 10 trillion is actually fucking bearish, right? Like, that's not even, I mean, it's a lot of gains from here, but it would be like a terrible bull market compared to the others, right? Even here, this one was the worst. The fair value was sitting at 500 billion, and eventually we went to 2.5 trillion. That's 5 times as much. So if we here have a fair value of 5 trillion, going 2x above that, it's super diminishing, right? So that's super bearish, actually. So let's stick to that 10 trillion. Now, that's an interesting starting point, because, again, if you look at the others dominance, which I talked about a couple of times already, so, memorize that 10 trillion. If you look at the others dominance, you can see that we are in this parallel channel, and this has been accurate for 7 years, 10 if you count this. And, the next stop is this, right? We went to the upper band, or the upper side of the parallel channel in this bull market, and we went to it in this bull market, and it's very likely that we are heading there in the next bull market as well. That would mean that the altcoin market will take a market share of 30%. Right, slightly more, depends on when you get there, 32, but let's say 30%. If we get to 10 trillion by then the altcoin market's 30% would be $3 trillion. $3 trillion. Dude, that's a lot. It doesn't, like, if you look how much it is right now, it's 200 billion, right? It's crazy. This is That's insane. So if you look where that could go, that's around 13, 14x higher than where we are right now. Right now, is that possible? Look, I kind of made this kind of video for the Patreon as well, but I needed to show you this here because I just want you to be bullish right now. I don't want anybody in this community at this stage of the market that says, yeah, I think we should all short right now. Shut up. What the fuck are you doing, Capo? Don't do that. If you look where we are in this market right now, we had a run up and we cooled down, right? What do you notice in the last market? We had that run up and we cooled down for a long time before we had the second leg, which was the real leg, right? So we're now here, which is very comparable to somewhere around here, right? This was the COVID crash. Let's assume that we do not all get a fucking weird ass disease somewhere coming year. Like then I don't think that this is gonna happen. So we're somewhere around here, right? If you look at the market before that, we had one leg, cool off for a long time, and then we had the second leg, which was actually the leg for altcoins. So it is not that different. Also, this isn't that different. Like the whole market so far has shown us, like this time isn't different, right? So far. Although people have been yelling that the whole time, till the day of today, it's not. So we might be somewhere here. What did the market do from this point, give or take, right? Well, from here, it went up 2,800%, right? So to now say like, well, from this point, it could go up like 1,200%. It is not that weird, right? It is already diminishing. I'm not saying here, sitting here saying like this will be the biggest bull market ever, like some people do on Twitter. Like, are you ready for the biggest bull market ever? Yeah, I'm so ready. 2013, thanks. No, it's like super diminishing, so it's not gonna be the biggest bull run. Like by far not. It will be the smallest. Nevertheless, if you compare the previous two bull markets, they were freaking insane, right? So even if we get a fraction of that and you're well positioned right now, you will do fantastic. So therefore, my target is somewhere, yeah, here, give or take. Also, if you look how long it took from, this point, give or take, right where we kind of are right now, here it took about, and let's say this first stop, right? Depends on where you take it from exactly, but let's say this is 350 days, right? That second lag. You could also say that this was already the lag starting if you don't include COVID. Then it was 470 days, so let's make it an average of 400. In this stage of the market, I think we are somewhere here right now. It took around also 400, 430 days. So if we extend where we are today with 400 days, give or take, then it's December 2025, coincidentally, right? Why is that funny or interesting? Because we've been talking quite a while already that the end of 2025 should be the top of this bull market. And that's not for no reason. If you look when we topped out in previous cycles, Bitcoin has a little more history, then you can see that it's basically the end of the post-halving year, right? End of 2021, end of 2017, end of 2013. So it's not only cyclical that we will end, that we will stop the bull market end 2025, but again, if you look at the altcoin market again, then you'll also notice that that second leg always takes kind of that amount of time, which would put us there. So my time prediction for the altcoin market, it's the end of next year. My price prediction, that's harder because that's not cyclical, it's diminishing, right? But I would say $3 trillion is optimistic. Then again, if you compare it to last cycles, it is pretty cautious actually, and it's super diminishing. And well, let's say it how it is. It's fucking bearish actually. But that could definitely be the case. Now, before you feel like, wow, 12x. Okay, if you're not happy with 12xing your money, then I don't know what's wrong with you in the first place. But I can tell you that that's going to be a lot more, of course, right? And then it depends on what altcoins you're in. But if you compare this leg up that we had from the bottom to the top, the altcoin market did 400%, give or take. But if you look at specific altcoins outside of the top 125, because that's the chart that we're looking at, if you look at coins outside of it, for example, CeDeFi did like 900,000%, give or take, right? So that's 2x more. So if the altcoin market is gonna like 12x maybe, this chart, then it could be that the lower caps could actually 20, 25x from the point where we are right now until the, ultimate top. Are you going to get that out of the market? Sorry, exactly. If that happens, probably you won't time the top, right? But if you walk away with anything close to that amount, I think you nailed it. And this should be pretty possible, actually, if you ask me. Now, I also have this $1.2 trillion right here. I think that's also a possibility that the altcoin market overall does around a 5-6x at this point. That's if the dominance is like 30%, but the overall market, goes to maybe, let's say $3-4 trillion, right? And $3-4 trillion, that's around to 1.618. That's actually the first big resistance level if you look at the Fibonacci retracement. Right? That if we break all-time highs, then that's the first stop. So I'll put that in as a target just to have a super bearish target. But I would actually be super surprised if that happens, because that kind of means that we will always stay below the fair value. That never happened, right? So and it's not that we once went a little above it. Now, every time we went way above it. So now to say that we don't even go above it, that doesn't really make sense to me, actually. Plus, this chart, if you look at this, how fast it's going up right here and how slow it's increasing right here, this is already considering diminishing returns. So that could not be the argument, right? Therefore, I do feel like people are not bullish enough at this point. And it's, I don't know, like, that's normal at this stage of the market, I guess, where they see Bitcoin go up and they feel like, wow, everybody is euphoric about Bitcoin. But in my portfolio, I barely notice it, right? And why is that? Again, because the Bitcoin dominance, unlike your altcoin, is making all-time highs, right? And that's kind of the problem for now with the altcoin market. But also that is not exceptional. That also happened every cycle so far. As you notice in the last bull market, if you look at Bitcoin, when did it break out? It broke out here, right? In the week of December 14, 2020. If you then look at the altcoin market that same week, you can see that Bitcoin made new highs that week. Altcoins were sitting here at $43 billion, while the all-time high was 80. So the altcoin market still had a 2x to go after Bitcoin already made new all-time highs. Altcoins are lagging, of course. Again, Bitcoin is the safer asset, so people prefer that. Yeah, and if the rewards are also higher, then why, like these whales, they get the game. They don't catch these falling knives on altcoins, right? They don't try to be like, okay, I'm going to pick the exception. They know at this stage of the market, Bitcoin is lower risk, higher reward. But at a certain point, that will change, right? At a certain point, at least the low risk won't change, but the higher reward will change. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, then literally everybody in Bitcoin is in profits, right? So they do have the money to gamble for that higher reward by then. So you can, of course, sit on your couch being angry, waiting for Trump to win the elections, and then look at your crypto bag and be like, I don't think that's going to be the narrative. I don't think we need Trump. Would be a little weird if we need one specific person to pump the complete market in the first place. People do find it a nice extra narrative. I kind of get that. He is more pro-crypto than Kamala is. But Then again, we never needed it. Here in 2020, yeah, Biden won, right? And we got a fat bull market after that. It doesn't really matter. I think that the global money flow in the first place is important. I think we need to get into QE instead of QT, and that's probably going to happen within now and 3 months, by November, December, maybe January, and that's gonna set it all off. On top of that, if you look for the altcoin market, right, Bitcoin can go to 100K. If my altcoins go down, I still don't give a shit because I don't have any Bitcoin anymore, basically. I converted it into altcoins. So on top of that, if you look at the altcoin market right now, more specifically the Bitcoin dominance, yeah, one thing that's super interesting is that a fat bunch of resistance where we are right now, right? So cannot be super bullish on this anymore. Also, if you take a look at the Fibonacci again and you take it from the last cycle's high to the low, you see that we got rejected at the 618, and that's actually where alt season began. If you now take the same Fibonacci from the last high to the current lows, we are now exactly sitting at that 618. So it's kind of the cherry on top saying that, okay, this might be it right now. And I said before as well that that's all chart-wise. Cycle-wise, it is also lining up at this moment, because if you look at the halvings, we had the halving here in 2016. 8 months or 7 months later, we went into an alt season. If you take a look at the last halving, 7 months later, we went into an alt season. Now we had the halving in 2024. We are now at month number 5, almost at month number 6. So if that's going to be exactly 7 months again, could be maybe 1 month sooner or later, whatever. But 7 months will take it into December as well. Also end of year, right? Everything kind of lines up and comes together with December. All right, December is kind of the month that has my hope. And look, if it all doesn't start in December, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't. If it would, it's not that easy, right? Could be January, February. I never know how to pronounce February. But that period is where it needs to start. If we take a look at others Bitcoin, so altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, you can see what's the official term. Fucking wrecked. It's down 14% this month. Right now, altcoins on the dollar pair, luckily, are not down that much, just 2.5%. But so that's because Bitcoin has been going up. So again, your altcoins do rely on Bitcoin a lot. And we are going to transition to a period where they don't need Bitcoin anymore to go up, because they're going to take Bitcoin's money. This chart is kind of the opposite as the Bitcoin dominance. And as you can see, I mean, look at all the supports, resistance. And now we're forming some kind of a double bottom potentially right here. That could be it, man. This could be it. So what happens between, like, I don't know, now and a month from now? Look, I have no clue. It could go down, right? Could go sideways, could be boring, could go up. What happens after the elections? I think it's going to be one big dump fest, actually. Why do I say that? Because too many people expect Trump to win, and too many people also expect that to be necessary for the market. Look, there's a chance Trump doesn't win, and there's also a very good chance that no matter who wins, short term, it has no real effect, right? And people are just like the halving. People feel like, fuck, this was my last narrative, right? We had ETFs, we had the halving, and now we have Trump. These are the narratives. For the rest, I don't see any mainstream narratives. Yeah, it could be that that's going to result in one big disappointment. I mean, the halving, altcoins went up 11% that month. Not as like spectacular as people hoped for. So the next month, it got sold off with 16%, the next month with 5%, and the next month with 13.5%. Like it's been a dump fest ever since. Could be that the election is the same thing, right? I don't know. That's kind of hard to predict. And again, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters that much. So let's wait and see. don't be. That's one thing that I do really want to give you as some advice. I know there's a lot of people. They say altcoins are dead because of meme coins. I can honestly tell you this is the other way around. It's not that I feel like I know it better, but I'm pretty sure that I know how this works. I think it's the other way around. The altcoin market is down against most people's expectations. They feel disappointed. Plus, it's taking 8 fucking months while people thought that we were in the bull market. So their patience is gone. Like, people don't even have patience for 2 weeks in crypto, let alone 8 months. So what do people do? They capitulate on their altcoins. Therefore, the chart goes down and they put it into some stupid meme coins. And they mostly lose money with that as well. But because there are some success stories here and there, they feel like that's the way to go. So they try to search for the thrill and the excitement themselves. Well, I think that if you just hold it in the altcoin market, there's a way lower chance that you lose it, and eventually it will come. So prevent yourself from having all that stress, I would say, because this is cyclical. But people always have a reason to say that, oh, this time it's happening because of this, and this time it's happening because of this. I don't think it works like that. What's one chart that backs up my whole theory is this one: the cycle, the ROI after the cycle bottom. If you look, we are that purple line, purple and green and orange were the last 2 cycles. We are exactly where we were in the last 2 cycles at this stage of the market as well. So it is not that different, right? It's not that different. But yeah, we need the dominance to go down, and it could also go up without altcoins getting wrecked. For example, that people put their money from USDT into Bitcoin. In that case, Bitcoin also dominates the crypto market more, but you don't notice it by altcoins getting destroyed. So the most important chart at this moment is this chart right here. If you look, financial advice here. Don't sue me because I think you can now, but if you do not have TradingView, download fucking TradingView. It's free. Okay, download it. Then, if you have it, go to the plus icon, type others/BTC and hit enter. Okay, you will get this chart. This is the most important chart by far out there, in my opinion, right now. Why? Because again, look, Bitcoin has been going up. So your altcoins have been going up a little bit as well. But if it wasn't for Bitcoin, there would be like nowhere right now. And that's what you can see on this chart. Altcoins this week, and let me zoom in a little bit, today made a new cycle low on their Bitcoin pair, right? So Bitcoin is at 70K. Let's say that this chart does what it always does and eventually goes up again. Let's say that Bitcoin will still be sitting at 70K. Your altcoins on the dollar pair will explode. Let's say that Bitcoin will go to 100K, which I don't think is that weird. And this thing goes up because that's what it does. Then your altcoins will go nuts. Right? If you look at this chart, this is the one. And it's not that weird, actually, that this will recover, right? Because this is basically the alt season chart. If you look, when is this going up, really up? 2021, full 2021, post-halving year. And here, 2017, the full year of 2017. These are both post-halving years. 2025 is like around the corner, right? Plus, like, if you combine that with what I said at the beginning of this video, plus the fact that this is sitting at major support right now, there's a very good chance that this will do fantastic. But it's not weird. Like here we had the halving and we got a sell-off on the chart. Here we had the halving, we had a run-up, but then we had a sell-off, right? Now we had the halving, we have a sell-off. Everything is the same, actually. And what happened after both of these previous sell-offs, that sell-off resulted in the final bottom before alt season started. whenever this bounces, whenever this bottoms, I think that's the last bottom before alt season starts. Because that's what happened twice before as well. 2 out of 2, right? It's not a lot, but it's something. It happens to be that we're sitting at fat support. So could it be that this is the bottom? I don't know, man. It could. It lines up with 60% dominance. That was Benjamin Cohen's target. Well, if even he now is saying like, whoa, we are there, then I feel like, okay, you know, it's all coming together. Yeah, again, others' dominance. Look, how bottomy do you want something to be? Like we are exactly sitting there, right? Exactly. And it could be, of course, that we wick below it, right? We wicked above it right here a little bit, so we can wick below it a little bit. That's nothing too weird. But if you not buy it here, then where are you going to buy it? So I would highly recommend. I see sometimes some people in the comments, even on this channel, right, let alone other channels, always say, like, I don't know, they just say like, well, I just don't see how altcoins are going to run. Yeah, therefore it's so low. What do you think back here in this previous cycle? People said that as well. That was the reason why it was so low, right? And that was the, like, if the chart is so low, then yeah, now you're not sitting there like, wow, it's looking so good, right? Or if everybody is bullish still on altcoins, the chart wouldn't be that low in the first place, right? It's low, so the sentiment is low. Yeah, look at the history of any fucking chart. That is always the best buying indicator, right? So try to shut down your emotions. If you have any left, I think you have to go through a full cycle to be completely dead inside. And that's a good thing in this case. Maybe not for your relationship, but if you want to make money, that's fine. If you do still have emotions, I would say go against them, right? If you feel like, oh my God, I don't feel really comfortable buying right now because it's so unsure and altcoins are just not, I would place a fat buy order. If you are at a certain point like, wow, I need to get more, everybody is bullish, look at this, look at that, then consider selling a little bit, okay? It works. It guaranteed works. Now, real quick about some specific altcoins, and then we're going to wrap it up because I'm having a fucked up day today. I'm tired, man. But again, this part of my watch list. Is there something spectacular happening here? No. Does it matter? Yeah, only if you expected it to do so. But, you know, everything is kind of saying like, hey, we're still here and we might have a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months at best left. I would take advantage of it. And what to buy? Very simple. Again, look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair because we know that Bitcoin is already there, right? And it will go way harder. So can you imagine what your altcoin on the dollar pair will do once it starts to outperform Bitcoin? That's what you want to do, right? So look at altcoins on the Bitcoin pair and be a bit critical, right? Look, for example, at, here we go. Here we don't go. That was the wrong chart. Wait. Oh my God, my life. Illuvium. I have Illuvium somewhere. I didn't. Okay, Illuvium. The video was going so smooth so far. I should just stopped it when whatever. If you look at Illuvium on its Bitcoin pair, then this is the chart that you see, right? Now, I know that a lot of people, if you now go into the Illuvium Telegram group, for example, and you say, hey, the chart, I wouldn't buy it. Yeah, you will get banned or they will come to your house with pitchforks, whatever, right? Because people love the narrative. They love the game in this case. They love what they're building, and that's fine. But I love not losing money. And if you do take a look at this chart, shout out to Illuvium. I'm a big supporter. But the chart is fucked up. I would not invest in this. Not now, at least. Because it's just underperforming against Bitcoin, right? And that's a precious thing. If you put one Bitcoin in Illuvium right here because you love the game so much, congratulations, you can still love the game, but you now love it. Will you have half a Bitcoin? Why would you? If you love it so much, then you want to get the most out of it, I would assume, right? And therefore, I would say, look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pairs, right? If something is outperforming an asset like Bitcoin, which is pushing all-time highs and going way beyond it, then that altcoin is gonna moon. Yeah, what good is, buying an altcoin that you think is going sideways purely because Bitcoin is going up, but actually the Bitcoin value is going down. All right, so this is a mess. I wouldn't buy it. You can, of course, try to keep, buying falling knives, but everybody that did that so far is in a loss because this thing made new lows last week, right? So that doesn't work. And I know how tempting it is. Like, well, look at how cheap I can buy it. Yeah, well, that's what people thought a few months ago as well. And they're now lost half of the money. So I would say wait for these kind of charts to bottom out. If they bottom out, that's always the question. And then buy it. Will you miss the bottom? Yeah. But if you keep DCAing a falling knife and you look at your average entry, then at the end of the day, you also didn't buy the bottom actually. Right? So get that out of your head already. You can better buy the uptrend at the same levels as the downtrend because here you have confirmation that it's going up. And here you don't know how far and if the downtrend is ever going to end. So I would say look at these kind of altcoins that are strong against Bitcoin. Volker Forged, trash. Trader Joe, trash. IMX, holding it, right? Touch this trend line now once, twice on its way to its third attempt, right? So this is actually holding it. So this is a good buy probably because yes, you buy it very low, but you at least know that this level where we are means something. That's what you want to do. Now, people love Solana a lot, and that's because Solana has been one of the outperformers. Hey, and this is probably a good one. I mean, this has been holding up against Bitcoin very well. So if Bitcoin does a 2x from this point and Solana stays where it is right now, then Solana automatically does a 2x with it, let alone if it's going to outperform even more, right? So that's a good buy, actually. In Solana's specific case, I wouldn't be too optimistic since the market cap is already $80 billion, right? And I think that people now say like, oh, Solana got a 20x from here. Manage your expectations. But these are the better charts to take a look at, right? So all you need now is good quality altcoins and patience. Can Bitcoin retest 68.5K and still be bullish? Yes. Can the Bitcoin dominance go up way higher? Could be. Could it go down? Could be. It's all possible. Just ask me anything, I would say it's possible, right? All I know that if you hold on for a year, you will be fine. It's just that stage of the market right now. And I know we are ready because a lot of people don't believe it anymore. And that's what we have been waiting on, right? Last March, people were like, yeah, making money. Okay, it wasn't time apparently. Now all these people, they say like, nah, it's not going to happen. Nah, it's different. Nah, not this time. Great, you're in disbelief. So it's probably time to go now because the market loves to leave people behind. We cannot all cash out at the top, right? So, yeah, let's see what happens. I hope it was another great motivational speech. That's all I do, I guess, these days. Later in this bull market, we will, of course, talk about more specific new altcoins, which are great. Also about taking profits, about shifting the money, right? A little reassurance. If you thought that this was hard so far, congrats. The stressful part is now actually coming because I said this before, but a bull market is more stressful than a bear market. Everything moves too fast. And it takes, I don't know, you have to have some good nerves just to not freak out about it and just hold. And even if you are sitting at some fat profits and you feel like, should I take profits? Shouldn't I take profits? Make up your mind and stick with your plan. Stick to your plan because, otherwise your emotions are going to lead the way for you. Anyway, like the video. Please subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.